Hey, don't change that channel. You're watching Jack Fleming Artistry. Today we're doing door signage on what I think is a 1940, if I remember correctly, Ford hot rod pickup truck. You're gonna have to stick around towards the end of the video in order to see what this truck looks like, because I don't want to spoil it for you. This, to me, fits the bill for what I like to look at in a pre-World War II hot rod. We're going to see all the steps from drawing it like I'm doing right now to transferring that drawing, painting it. The only thing I'm really leaving out is cleaning. So just to go over that real quick, before I even started drawing here, I cleaned the doors with glass cleaner and then wax and grease remover. There's really not a whole lot of cleaning that I need to do on it because it's slightly fresh paint. Again, this truck sort of fits in my ideal, what I like seeing in, I guess, more of a traditional kind of hot rod build, at least in my eyes. Garage built, painted, everything's done right here in the shop where I'm painting it at. Not a fancy high dollar paint job, but also not like a patina thing or anything. This is, to me, what genuine hot rodding would be. I've always admired kind of a budget-friendly hot rod build, one that's built from parts that a person has found in a junkyard or older cars and stuff that they have. They've built with their friends and stuff in their own shop. They trade parts and stuff with each other, manufacture things, making do with parts and stuff that they can find, they can figure out how to make work, but not just slapping stuff together to get something going. Not trying to build like a rat rod type deal, but actually building a hot rod within a smaller budget. Still trying to make it look good, still trying to make it safe, still trying to make it fast, having a good time doing it. I'm going to let the pencil work in the background kind of speak for itself a little bit. You can see that I'm hand drawing everything right here on site. I do that because I like to look at the vehicle, see how it's going to look on the vehicle, and to me, it kind of helps me make it feel like it fits the vehicle a little bit more. But since the time I started doing this job, I wanted to talk to you guys a little bit about why I'm excited to work on this particular job. When I first moved to Granbury, Texas, where I live, the guy that owns this truck was one of the first car people that I met in the area. I met a friend of his at a car show, and he told me that I had to come meet this guy. He said, "Oh, he's kind of the leader of the little car club that we have here." And whenever I met him, he said, "Well, we're the old guy car club, but we're not the old guy car club." These guys are around the same age that my dad would have been if he was still alive. And they get together like once a week, hang out, work on cars and stuff together, trade parts and stuff, trade stories. I want to show you something else real quick. Show you this back. Give you a better idea of what I'm talking about. Studebaker, Plymouth, square body trucks, another Studebaker, but check this out. It's a cool looking V8. I'm grateful that he gave permission for me to show you guys around some of this here. It's kind of neat. He's actually scaled down quite a bit over the time that I've known him, but I'm not going to give you guys any information on where he's at. Kind of respect his privacy here. I sure do want one of these. Back to the truck here. Got it drawn off. I'm transferring this. I have my blue Sorrel paper underneath this. That way it shows up on this light gray paint job. Kind of a tip that I can put out there too as I'm doing this. I always like using a ballpoint pen. It's good and hard, and it makes a good crisp line. So you can see that here. It also helps me to see where I've already traced. I'm using one-shot lettering enamel here. I have a little bit of hardener mixed in this, enamel hardener. I actually use what I can get from like Tractor Supply locally. Tilly quill brush from Mac Brush. I think this one was pretty big, probably like a size 12. I mention these things because people always ask in the comments. I'm palleting on the inside of my cup there, loading all those hairs up with paint. You can see here I am using a maul stick to rest my hand on. This keeps me from wiping off the chalk, getting my hand greases and stuff on there. Kind of helps with control a little bit. I do catch flack on here sometimes from people because I don't always use them all stick, but personal preference, I think. You can also see here, I have tape at the bottoms of some of the letters where I want a good crisp edge on that. Don't need to do that. I actually prefer the look of not having that, but I feel too that with some of the lettering on this, it's going to help keep it really straight, lined up with each other. The other reason that I'm doing it here is a little bit for speed, just to kind of speed things along a little bit. Something else to note a little bit about the letter style here, and I could have talked about this while I was drawing it off, but when I drew this out, I went through, I've got some old lettering manuals and stuff that I look at, and I didn't see anything that 100% fit exactly what I had in my mind for what I thought would work on this. But I also collect old pictures and stuff of actual vintage lettering on vehicles. And there was a truck that I had seen at one point in time where I liked these kind of blocky but sort of rounded letters. That A that you saw earlier was a really good example of it. The tops are still kind of squared off, but you got these chunky round corners on them. It fits in my mind, I guess, what I see whenever I see truck door lettering and stuff from the 40s and 50s. I could be off on that. I know there's people out there with a whole lot more knowledge than me on that. People who have been around a whole lot longer. But it fits that feel for me. I see lettering and stuff on some of the race cars and things that you'll see from the 50s and all, like in the salt flats and things like that, that have letter styles that, at least in my mind, seem to kind of fit this sort of style. You notice too, I'm using a dark gray instead of a black on this. The truck has gray fenders, and then light gray body paint, and the interior is also two-tone gray. Everything's in grays, so I thought we'd stick with that theme, and picking the colors on the lettering and all here. I didn't quite match the fender color for this letter, but it's pretty close to it. And in case you're wondering, it's not something that came straight out of the can. I took neutral gray and mixed black with it, and just a little bit of imitation gold. I said neutral gray. What I meant was medium gray. I think it's the gray color scheme for this truck that really sets it apart for me and makes it fit that style that I really like in a hot rod. Kind of makes me wonder too, though, and if you guys could comment in the comments there, or reply, answer in the comments there, what is it that you guys like in hot rods? There's all sorts of different builds and stuff out there. I'm not talking about like street rods, lowriders, stuff like that, but actual hot rods. What makes a hot rod to you, and what makes a cool hot rod in your eyes? Let me know in the comments. I really am curious. I think another topic of discussion for something like that is why. Why do you have the taste that you do? I think for me personally with this kind of stuff, it goes back to my childhood. I grew up in a farming area in Southern California, and you would have all these old cars and stuff sitting around, but you also had all these people and stuff around that had done stuff with them, that built stuff with them, and raced them on the dry lake beds and stuff like that. And I grew up around that kind of stuff. I saw old cars and stuff piled up on farmers' properties, and I had these visions, I guess you could say, in my mind of how cool it would be to do something with them. And I didn't get a whole lot of car magazines and stuff when I was a kid, just didn't have money for it. But I do remember a Rod and Custom magazine that I got sometime around the time of being around 20 years old that had this budget build in it. And that really said something to me in my mind. I think at the time they said they had built the car in that article for something like less than $4,000 or whatnot. And they were racing it and everything else. So again, to me, I like something that's built with stuff that was laying around or collected, just like this guy's collected parts over time, like you saw in his backyard. I like something that's garage built, but it's built to be kind of finished, not necessarily to show age, but, you've changed things. You've changed the looks of it. I like things that are painted. I like patina stuff too. I like them when they're built to drive and to have fun with, and not necessarily just to be a showpiece. I like those things too. Whenever it comes to a hot rod, this is a little bit more of what I'm thinking. Enough of listening to me ramble on. Let's go ahead and look at the finished on it. Here you are. I just really like the gray on gray scheme. He's still doing work on it. I can't wait to see it totally finished. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Till next time, y'all have a great day. Oh yeah, don't forget to hit like and subscribe. Click on one of the 2 videos that pops up here too. Share it with your friends. Go check out the website. Anyhow, see you guys later.